2, 1. What's up? Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Monday Coffee with the Doll. I am the doll. In case you were confused, there's really nobody else here for you to talk to except my cat. And let's be honest, he recently ran into a wall, so he probably isn't giving the best advice right now. But if I thought really hard about it, it's probably up to par with most people's advice. So you should probably just listen to my cat. All right, so this week we are going to be talking about kind of two things. I decided that I was going to talk about fear and why bad things happen to good people, in a sense, because it's kind of there's been a lot of little things that have kind of put this bug in my ear. Not a literal bug. Ooh, that made me think of those videos where that time that one chick had a bug in her ear. Oh my gosh. That's what real nightmares are made out of, you guys. I'm not even joking right now. That's it. That's what it is. Do you like my cup? I like my cup. My friends at Forever Above Me made it for me. They're going to be making me a new cup, and also you guys can get one of these cups if you want. Just go over and send them a message on their Facebooks or on their Instagram. I love them. I love them because their whole purpose is to, they're talking about embracing and repping the things that influence you. Forever Above Me, rep your influence. And they're putting my branding, things that I say, and my name and crap like that on things, so other people can then have them because I influence people with what I do. Right? It's like this whole thing. I'm like, whoa, man, that's really crazy, man. Who would have thought, man? All right, so we're going to get back on topic here. So I thought that something that I could talk about was fear because I've kind of been talking to a few different people about different things that are going on in their life, but one of the things that I've noticed that is influencing their choices and something that's kind of controlling how they're choosing to do what they're doing is fear, unfortunately. And it's one of those things where you're like, but I'm not scared. It's not like that kind of fear. It's that kind of small fear that's in the back of your mind that it kind of works its way in little tiny ways into everything that you do. And it kind of starts out by like second guessing yourself and not thinking you're worth something or taking somebody else's opinion over it than yours. And it starts working its way in until you do have this fear of acting sometimes. And it sucks when that rules your life. And I'm definitely somebody who could say that fear is probably one of the bigger emotions that's had kind of a control over everything that I've done in life. And it took me a really long time to finally kind of just break out of that, constantly not making any movement because I was scared. Like something would happen or I needed to make a decision or I was going through something. And it's like I couldn't handle it. I couldn't take care of anything on my own. I couldn't function because I had this fear that without certain people making choices for me or helping me with things that I couldn't do it because I was scared. And I've had a lot of emails recently from different, it's kind of a reoccurring email, and I've mentioned it sometimes in things that I'm talking about in the show. And it's one of those things where you guys kind of come to me and you're like, I love that you do this, I love that you do that, but I could never do that. Like I couldn't do that because this person he says that I can't. A lot of times it's a spouse that doesn't have faith in, it's usually a woman emailing me about pursuing something that makes her happy, and he isn't supportive of it, or he's negative of it, or it's causing conflict in their relationship, which is a whole different set of problems. But ultimately it's fear of not being accepted or fear of failing or fear of not being good enough. All those little different types of fear. I feel like it's not just fear. Fear has like all these little Mr. Salad fingers that work its way in a lot of different forms, but it stems from a fear, in my opinion. And I've lived a lot of my life just in fear of everything. And when I finally kind of broke out of the things that were keeping me in that place in my life, it was even scarier, because then you're just out there and you're like, oh my gosh, you're a fish and you have like one flipper. That's it. You got a Nemo flipper, so you're swimming hard with this one, and you're going, but you're like, I don't know, and it can be really scary. So that definitely doesn't help. But fear is something that I think holds a lot of us back in a lot of different things. And if you don't take control of that in even small ways until you get to ways where you're kind of stronger and more confident, and you kind of break out in bigger ways, because you got to take small bites. You got to take small bites. You gotta learn to swim before you just jump into the deep end, or you're just gonna sink to the bottom. So definitely do small steps if you're somebody who really is living in fear. Start standing up for yourself and start being more confident in you, so other people can see that radiating off you. And something like that can inspire a lot of different people, and you can inspire them not maybe in ways that are where they're like, oh, I'm going to be like that person, but you inspire them to treat you differently. You inspire them to, react to you differently and appreciate you differently. But you can't function in fear. And fear is something, unfortunately, that we are going to encounter. You're not going to not ever be scared of something. My boyfriend and I were watching an episode of Black Mirror. We just started watching Black Mirror, and we think it's awesome. It's a really cool, kind of like a Twilight Zone or an Outer Limits type show with the way the stories are set out. But one of the stories, a mom had implanted a thing in her kid's eyes and in her brain. But one of the things that she had was a censoring option, and she literally censored so much in her daughter's life that it got to the point where, that little girl hadn't experienced or seen or gone through anything. And ultimately, because of the major censorship that her mom put trying to protect her, ultimately, as a mom, I can understand that. But ultimately, she was hurting her daughter. And the older her daughter got, that stuff mattered more and more. And fear, I think, is something that's placed in us, for a reason. It's not just a mind thing. It does serve its purpose. Everything has a purpose. And then, it's your job to find moderation and balance that fits you for in a healthy way. And, I think that we censor so much, and we don't want to go through so much, and we try to avoid so many different things to not be put in that spot, that ultimately we're hurting ourselves, because we're letting fear completely keep us from handling a situation that could be a major role in teaching us something even bigger in our lives, in a sense. And that's just a perspective, that's just something that my brain thought up. It's definitely not gonna apply to everyone, and not everyone's gonna understand it, but I do think that walking through things that scare us and walking through things that we don't like, a lot of times we won't pursue that, or we won't get ourselves out of a situation that we need to get out of, because we're scared and we don't want to be brave, because ultimately being brave and maybe, tackling that fear, then we're going to have to face a whole new thing that maybe we weren't ready for. And I mean, hello, my anxiety just talking about this is going, danger, Will Rogers, danger. But I'm also learning that I have to push myself. I have to tackle that fear and kind of roll around in it and wear it like a fuzzy coat for a minute, and realize, this is a fear. This is what I'm going through. And then when I get on the other side of it, when I kick its butt, I'm going to be that much better. But it definitely doesn't make it easier while you're dealing with it. There's no such thing as easy. You can't just flutter through like it's no big deal. No. The floor is lava in life, people. The floor is literally lava. It's serious all the time. And if you're not on a cushion, you're not going to make it. Again, that's just an opinion. That's just how I feel about it. That's just me. But I think that kind of also kind of goes into why I think bad things happen at times to good people. And I definitely don't think as a whole, like I don't think every single occurrence. I can already hear people now with what I probably am going to end up saying, and people are going to be like, well, what about this situation? How are you going to say that about these people? How are you going to say that they deserve that? And it's like, I don't mean like every single situation, but I do think that there's even situations in my life that while I was going through them, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't deserve this. Why am I here? I've done nothing. I've done the right thing. I've been kicked in the face multiple times so I could do the right thing. And here I am, still losing at life. I don't deserve this. But now, looking back, I can honestly say, oh my gosh, I needed to go through that. If I did not go through that, there's no way I would be in the place that I am now. And I still have a long way to go in everything. And it's still a process every day that I'm learning and growing and adjusting. And just from who I was last summer to this summer, totally different woman. Like, totally different woman. And I had to go through being that woman, though, to be this woman that I am at this phase in my life. And this woman is going to be important because the next phase is going to be important. And I think that's why it's so detrimentally important to your life to embrace yourself and who you are in the moments that you're in, and not allow other people to try and pull you out of those learning experiences, because who you are here is really important to who you're going to be here, and you have to be able to get through that. So that touches on that topic. That got deep. That's what she said. Great. YouTube is going to kick me off for being inappropriate, not kid-friendly. Just great! I think that my point behind my opinion on bad things happening to good people is that you're going through something, and again, not in every situation and not in every instance, because every story, every situation, everything has its own details, its own reasons, its own points and pieces and parts that make that entire situation important. But I think that there are a lot of things in life that we go through that during that time, we think it's the worst that we're ever going to be. Like, we can't believe we're there. You're terrified, you're anxious, you're depressed, you don't see, any positive in your future. There's not really anybody who can help you, like, you can talk to people about it and they can support you and they can love you, but there's not really anything that they can do, because there's a lot of things in life that we go through that ultimately are on us. We have to be the ones that walk them out and make the choices, and people can't just always save us, It's just not how we evolve into stronger people. So I think in that moment, it's really important to just remember that there is a future and that there is a tomorrow, and you have to continue to walk through that pain and keep taking it head on. That way, when you come out on the other side, that pain can't take you out again, in a sense, you know what I mean? And I think that we can go through some really, really horrible things that we can try to blame on anybody and everybody, because all these people play a role in your story. The people that you put into your life play a role in your story. So we can put it on all those people as much as we want, but ultimately we're the ones that make those choices. We're the ones that decide which path our life goes down. And you have to be conscious of your decisions. You have to be conscious of your choices, because you're the one that they're going to affect. And sometimes we make bad choices. did other people hold our hand to get us there? Yeah, but we made the choice. So now we also can make the choice to take this pain and take whatever it is we're going through and punch its lights out, like just Rocky Balboa, the crap out of it. So tomorrow you can be that much better. And I think that's why sometimes bad things happen to really good people, because I couldn't handle what I've gone through without all the things that I went through leading up to it. And I try to be as positive about the horrible things and the bad things. And you have to try and take the good out of them, because the bad will just totally wreck you. They'll wreck shop. And nobody likes cleaning the shop. Okay? Okay. So that's that. I think in closing, what I will say is that ultimately you have the choices over what direction your life goes. And it isn't going to be easy, and you're not the only one going through it, and it's not just you. It's ultimately everybody when you talk to them. And we have to keep pushing for that stronger, better us. I mean, we have to keep evolving. We have to keep striving to be better in any and every way that we can. And you can't just let fear be the thing that knocks you out, because there is fear in pretty much anything and everything I've ever faced in life. Lots of fear. Be it on, me just being scared of my future, or what I'm going to do about, paying my car payment on time, or what I'm going to do about this, that, or the other. There's fear in a lot of different choices that we make. And sometimes we have to, really think hard and think, maybe this is the thing that I'm going to go through that's going to be what teaches me something epic in life. This is the one thing. I'm the good person that something bad is happening to right now, because I'm going to come out on the other side 10 times more powerful. You have to keep that set state of mind, because if you don't, you're going to fall into that hole. And I know what that hole looks like. I don't like it. My hole does not have any fluffy pillows or unicorns or ranch dressing. And I don't like that hole. So I try really hard to keep myself up on top with my Peter Pan stance. Did you guys see my shirt? Look at that. Whistlebait. Woo woo. Whistle Wolf Productions. They're amazing. You'll have to check them out. I'm working on a new project with a new set of photos with them. It's gonna be so lit, fam. That's the lingo, right? So, but that's it. That's all I have to say. That's enough. I've rambled on long enough. I've said my piece, and probably enough pieces to last another lifetime. So, keep fighting the good fight, of course. Remember that if you guys are looking for a safe place to talk, you can check out betterhelp.com/EmilyDoll, and you can talk with a professional, because I'm not a professional. No. No. I know this hair says professional, but I'm not. No. I'm kind of like your really unqualified kooky aunt that you don't really take that much advice from, because, well, she's kooky and crazy. That's why. But remember, these are the days that fill your week. Make them amazing. Help other people make theirs amazing. And if you want this cup, you can find a link below, and you can make your days sparkly and amazing too. So until next time, I love your faces.